Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a fairly standard yet reliable cup of tea, the good old-fashioned cuppa. So welcome back to Prison Architect, where previously we got inmates and, well, filled up our first cell block, including one of the family cells, which is not occupied at the moment. They must have left at some point, I'm hoping via official means. Either way, we obviously got things like different programs running, people were working, we did some little odd changes here and there, so mainly putting in, like, say, the shop and the library, and yeah, more changes over here as well in the common room and such. But yeah, basically getting this managed, and well, things seem to be working out quite well. We've done some grants, we've got decent money. It is now time to basically start cloning. So quick build, custom, and then cloning. And I want to build, well, this big section here. This is going to be, according to the game, 12 grand, but that will just be for the foundations itself. I will then go to workers, and, well, I'm going to spam them up to 26. I was actually going to go for 24, but I clicked too many times. Anyway, that's fine, and that's a lot of building. So hopefully by the end of this episode, I would like to think we can get this here. However, there is a slight problem with that. This is supposed to be cleared for transfer. So we're cloning this over, and the majority will stay the same. So things like the infirmary, the kitchen, the visitation, the cleaning cupboard, the chapel, all of this stuff, it's all going to stay the same. However, what is going to change is the amenities allowed in the canteen and the yard, and basically all of the grading. And that's what we'll do. Now, whether or not it works is, well, up for debate. At the moment, we have no prisoners motivated to qualify. And why would they be motivated to qualify? Because they are low-risk inmates with what, at the moment, is the only option. There is no more amenities. However, if we add stuff in here that's better graded, hopefully they'll move over. Now, there is some discussion as to whether I've overdone this cell block, because we are providing... You only need to provide the basics up to about maybe... Well, anything that goes critical. So, mainly things like food, bladder, bowel, sleep. I think some of the... Most of it can go to high, but it can't go to critical. So there is a critical for luxuries. So you don't need to provide that. So we might get to a point where I have to demolish stuff in the first cell block and then go for the others. I don't know yet. We'll have to see how we get on. It's been a while since I've done a proper full clear for transfer build, so yeah, like I say, it's in progress. This is going to get the foundation placed, and then obviously they're going to start building. This will require a door. I'm going to just go to demolish walls there, so they'll have access to that side of it. Obviously, this cell block will require the support rooms, which is this, to go in as well. So things like staff room, staff canteen, security, etc. It has been commented that obviously we do need protective custody, and I totally agree. And I've been questioning where can we put it. And it was argued, not really argued, but noted that even though we've got things like the staff room and the staff canteen here, and I was basically going to clone it for every single cell block, but we don't really need that for every single one. We probably need the solitary, although these are not denoted for any particular type of inmates, so the inmates can come down into the staff-only area. Hang on, into this staff-only area, which should be staff-only, but it isn't because of reasons. Now it is, and now it is again. In the staff-only area, and then they'll be escorted to here. And it could be here, or wherever. But anyway, I could not, for the next expansion, put any doggos in, or some solitary, or any of this. And I could probably cobble together an area that is just for protective custody. And it wouldn't be too much of an effort, because if we go over to planning, this room here is 7. 6. I lie. Don't know why I said 7. It was fairly obvious because it was even. That was the first giveaway. So that can go in there. And then each of these can become some sort of protective custody area. And I could make it very simple on myself and have one side like this be protective custody. And even the other side. Could have cells like that, or I could even have cells like this. And then this side is protective custody. The problem with that is they won't have access to it, because they'd have to go through security. I mean, security wouldn't be staff only. Not that it's too much of a problem. It would have to be open like that. Another way of doing it is to have, well, 3 there, and then a small canteen. Which doesn't have a minimum size, so it could go there. And you're serving 3 inmates. But because the cells are so large, it would work. We could do it like that, and that would be protective custody. That would be 6 inmates if we did it that way. It's, however, I am just trying to fit a square peg into a round hole at this point. But we only have 2 inmates so far that need protective custody. Oh, wow. No way. That's done. I mean, well done to the staff members getting that done. That is a lot quicker than I expected it to be built. Wow. Right. I mean, obviously, I was too busy rambling on to figure out exactly where when that was built, but it's done. That's most impressive. Okay. Quick build, custom, cloning. Well, as they're so good, they can crack on with that bit now, can't they? And then what I can do is go to intake and close it. Because this is not made for... Well, if I just intake more low-risk inmates, it's not going to work out. We need to do a clear for transfer. One of these... This is going to get changed to lower risk. And this is going to go to medium. And then there will be a progression system. It's the transition that's going to kill me. It really is, because transitioning to a facility that's just low risk to low and medium, and then low, medium, high, and then low, medium, high supermax means turning off all of the intake and moving them over, and it's just it's a whole thing in and of itself. Yeah. Okay. There is another way of doing things in terms of this area here, because I still like the idea of cloning it, and that's that the green energy, we don't need to rely on the money. And when I expand, I probably will build more wind solar hybrids and such, but I'll have more space down here that I could place just for protective custody. And I think that's probably what I'll end up doing, just to keep things as they are. But there you are. Let's see how we get on with things. I do, however, want to make a change, and I wanted this CCTV down here on this corner to look up that way. I think it would be better. But then is there any point? Is there any real point? Not really. It might look better there, but then this one's still going to be over there, and it means rewiring it. No, it's unnecessarily work, and I don't need it. I don't need it. Laundry baskets. Not being placed. They don't clone. So we'll place them in ourselves. Obviously, there's no amenities in here. Green Energy Goal 1 is complete. 1 energy source of each type will be delivered. What is Green Energy Goal 1? Let's have a quick look. And we're out of money. Let me get a bank loan. Green Energy Goal 1. What? No, can't have been 1. Can't have been 1. What was it? Okay. I'm not too sure what it was. I'm doubting myself now. What I am seeing, though, is we can run general education qualification. And that will almost certainly give us this next goal. This next grant. That's good. Speaking of grants, got manufacturing facility, reoffending rate. What's reoffending on at the moment? 19%. I was going to say darn it, but that's not the case. It's good, but however, if I pick up the prison reoffending rate, doesn't matter. I lie. Right. So originally, if you pick up the prisoner reoffending rate, it was reduce the reoffending rate to 30%, and it did specifically mean 30%. I'm guessing that's been patched. Probably the bug and the Ozone's, yeah. Ozone's mod. Top mod on Steam, I think, for improvements. I've mentioned it several times in the past. It's the quality of life and bug patch, essentially. So what can I go for now? Tool cleanup is the obvious one. But I'm going to go with reform prisoner initiative and decrease my loan because I don't need it. Because we're going to get cell block B done anyway. It is, however, taking the guys a lot of time to go through this door, which is a bit of a problem. While they're working on this, we can go to deployment and patrols, and we can set up some patrols. Which are... There's another grand completion payment, which I'm guessing is... Yep, cell block. Cell block B. Yeah, so now we have cell block C, which I'm not going to pick up just yet. So patrols. I do need to extend the patrols along like this. Alright, how am I going to set this up now? Because it goes down here. Yeah, okay. I think I'm just going to have to go along and down. It's basically going to be all over the place, is what I'm seeing. Dog handler. But there will be some patrols, which is the main thing. As long as we've got some sort of dog patrols, we'll be fine. Although they're not all assigned for some reason. It's 6 dogs, 2 patrolling, 1 on break, 2 need a break. I need more doggos. Well, I say doggos. It's cats, isn't it? Wolverine! That's Wolverine, the guard dog. That's a cat. With Charlie, the dog handler. It's actually an alien. Let's open that door. Get that open as well. Get them working. Obviously going to put the other stuff in. I think I will not do what I mentioned here about the whole protective custody. I think we can manage without it for now. I think so. We'll be fine. I'm going to do other patrols while I'm on. Deployment patrols. And it's going to be along here. And do I bring them down to there, did I? I did. I'm going to change it, actually. Because otherwise, what happens is the guards get too close to the door. And they fling the door gets flung open. And they're always going through the metal detector. And if it just can trigger things. And we just don't need that. Just to make it a little bit easier. I don't think it matters too much. Right, so assign guards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to put another one. Oh, I've got those wrong. Got those the wrong way around. Sorry. So it is a dog handler in here, and then a guard. Oh, in there. I've also got a blue patrol going on like so, which is also a dog handler. And deployment, and a sign there as well. And people are now coming over here. Because this is access only, and oh, even though that's staff only, they're still doing that. Thank you. Right, well, I'm going to wait for this to be built. You know what I'm going to do? Do I need to build security? I probably do. But also, frankly, there's enough guards and stuff for them to just deal with it. We can just let them do it. What is our capacity at the moment? It's pretty good. What I want to do is I want to get this built and then move everybody over. Everything low risk. And then I'll get in medium and then I'll start adding stuff to here. I think that's the order I'll do it in. But I need to wait for this to be built first, which, miraculously, it is. So, electrical cable. I don't need to be too precious on where this is ran. Even though I was previously. I just want it connected. So something like that would suffice. That would power everything up. There we go. I can also sell those if I really need to, because of the power from there. It's all good. Water is a similar thing. So it'll be a large pipe to there and to there. And then small pipes. Just running down like this. I'm just going to pause it for a moment while I lock open these doors, because these are always going to be locked open anyway. This is just the sort of extra bit of layer of security that we've put in that we probably won't need, and we certainly don't need now, but for high-risk inmates, we probably do. So, yeah. Where else were we at? Water. Back to water. Here. Like so. And water. Like so. Electrical should be fine. Quick build, custom cloning. And it's that. It's that. That was a lot less effort than I thought it was going to be. Now I know some of it will still be wrong. Because some things don't clone. And yes, staff do start moving around. So 2 doctors. Of all this time, I've only ever had 2 cooks. And it's been working fine. That's actually really good. Let's see. We want this as staff only. We want prison labour set up correctly. 9 and 9. Then 3. Because of some reason. Then there's that. Deployment patrols. Patrols are set up, as far as I can tell, in an acceptable manner. Yes. This is now getting built. Well, good. And money is still acceptable as well. Okay. The problem now is that when we move inmates, obviously that's the whole shifting over. That's going to take a lot of effort. And then it's the scheduler and... actually, not the scheduler. No. Well, sort of. It's the programs. Because it's going to start assigning some of these programs to different areas. So even though if this is going to be, say, this is low risk and this is medium risk, it's going to start assigning these programs to, say, safety kitchen... if I add in another kitchen safety and hygiene, so we've got 2 of them, it's going to assign them both into the medium one, because of course it is. We'll see if that is actually the case. I do believe it will be, but we shall see. As I said, we have got some... Have I not put a... Of all things, I've not put a door on there. I thought I had. That's going to be the priority. Prioritize that, please. I'm also going to do another one here as well. Prioritize the building of those. Can't believe I forgot all that one. Door control system. There and there. There you are. That's now better. Oh. We've also put these ones in as well. It shows you what can be built and at what time when you have 26 workers. And something that is actually quite easy to build. Like, I would say this is quite easy. Because a lot of it is just, like, even though there's a lot of things to place, a lot of it's just floor tiles that come in stacks. And this has cloned a very basic area. Okay. That's now in. So what do we do now? Well, we do this. The whole thing gets changed to minimum sec. And this should technically be max sec. I'm going to make it easier on myself and change it to medium for now. And we'll basically shift everything over in one go. I can't believe that's... Look at that. That's impressive. It's not got any power, but, you know, the building's impressive. Let me run this across. And that should power that. This should come down, which will power that. And then I can run this... Actually, that will be fine. Yeah. Probably have some lighting in here as well. How have I got the lighting in it? One there. One there. One there. And one there. And then there's lighting in there. And that'll be set correctly. And now what's going to happen is everybody should be escorted from this cell block over to here. Because that's where people are supposed to be. We prioritize the building of this electrical cable because, frankly, that'll actually allow us to run things. There we go. And then all this will be turned on. You see all of these guys here. Escort prisoner to cell. And they are starting to do it. Okay. And this is where we need to reschedule our programs because some of them will be right, some of them won't be. I'm probably going to have to preemptively pick up micromanagement. However, we are going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of prison architect. I mean, I would argue this in and of itself is probably, like, you could say, let's leave it there. Have we completed a successful facility? I would say we have. It's working. Yeah? We've got potentially 76 plus inmates, because obviously we've got the family cells. Oh no, there is Gibbs. Gibbs is still with us. And their children's. So yes, we've still got this working. It's all working well. We just need to move people over now to this new area, and then we'll get in some more inmates here. I won't have any intake on... Let's say... number per day. No, let's fill capacity. Let's just fill it. Family cells not counted. That's going to bring in 32. Well, we do have 32 capacity, yeah. So the idea is move everybody from here to here, not bring in any inmates from the minimum capacity, because they have to go from here to here. But we'll need to leave it there, and we'll build next episode, which means building in here, increasing the grading. Why increasing the grading? Because that is what will make people want to go from a high risk to a low risk to get more amenities, so a higher graded cell. But that might require the ticky box of that thing there. Use cell quality ratings. So we shall see. There is a lot of inmates. And prisoner Lutheran, Addison Lutheran, has a kid. Neri Lenore, Bailey Roach, and I think that's it. So far, the ratios have been okay. Right, good. I think we're in a decent place. Next episode, we will make sure everybody's been moved over from one cell block to the other. So medium is now in this one. And low is now in this one. Low to the left, medium to the right. Then we start adding in a couple more extras in these cells to increase the grading. It could be as simple as pillows, maybe, you know, a desk or a TV or a radio, just to increase it by a couple of levels. The most obvious one is things like gym mats and stuff, but it'll all be based on what is shown on, never get the right tab, on the room quality. We'll also do the same for the yard and for the canteen and maybe the classroom, etc. And then we'll probably just run with that and see how long it takes for people to maybe move over. Transfers wise, prisoners motivated to qualify a 2 for some reason, even though it's exactly the same. We shall see. So I was going to leave it there, but truth be told, I really want to see these inmates get moved into their cells, and it's a bit concerning that we're still waiting for these guys to be escorted. I'm just going to go ahead and rehire. In fact, I'm going to hire up a bit past to what I had previously for good or ill, just to try and move these along, and as I said, get them to their cells. Here is Gibbs here with their kid. Yes, they didn't leave them behind, and they will be escorted over here, which is fine. As I said, we will have to add in more things in the cells. Let's have a quick look while we're waiting on that one in terms of the things we can put in. So we can't alter the room sizes in these cells. I will probably have the last 2 cell blocks as a slightly larger one. In fact, I think, yeah, we're going to have this one as default sizing. This one, default sizing, but slightly more amenities. The one further up is 1 bigger, up to 9 squares. And then the one, is it 16? Actually, 16 might be going on a bit too much, actually. But we'll see. So we need things like bookshelves, TVs, desks, radios, chairs, sofas, pet birds, a sink and mirror. Anything that will give them the biggest bonus for the smallest footprint. So the obvious one is bookshelves and pillows. Pillows is the easy one because, guess what? It doesn't require any change of room, any change of the room size or anything in here. So this is the first time in the series that we're leveling up this sort of thing. We could go with comfy beds, but we'll save that for future us. Bookshelf is also, like I say, the obvious one, which I tend to do. Now I could put pet bird in, but I'm not going to because I think that that's a bit too extravagant for these grading of cells. Remember, rightly or wrongly, I've decided to go from the lowest graded cells to the highest. So it means shifting the inmates over every single time, like shuffling them along to the left. But it also means that I can build this, clone it, build, clone, and do it that way. And it means that I just need to, for the most part, add more. Now, it is a bit of a difference when it comes to these cells, because the next one we clone will not necessarily just be these, because these need to be then changed in sizing to be 3x3 rather than the 2x3. The family cells we don't need to because these aren't graded, but I am still adding more stuff in to up the grade. I'm going to try and upgrade these cells to just actually probably what they are now. It's just 2 extra ones, so that should be fine. However, we can go for the canteen, so let's go for. And I wasn't going to do this now, but it's taking ages for stuff to come along. If we added fans and that's low quantity, low variety meals. Really? Hang on, let me double check that. Policy. All medium and medium. Sorry, that's why it was graded poorly. That's why. Good job I checked that, and the game reminded me of that. There you go. Average meal quantity and variety. So could I do that, actually? The higher we go, the worse the food gets. So actually, for this... For the minimum security inmate, it's high quantity, high variety. So that'll be graded upwards. Yeah, look at that. It changes the grade. That's excellent. And that's a dynamic upgrade as well. We just need to change it in the policy, and then it does it as we base base things on the on the grading. Yeah, good. Okay. Why is that only... I was going to say pillows. Pillows haven't been placed. There you go. So these are now saying 7. But and these 15s, by the way, that's 15 of 7. That means they're entitled to a grade 15. But they're never going to get a grade 15 until they get to the very end. These are right on here. So we don't need to touch that. That's fine. I do need to do here, though. Running track. I don't think I can place a running track because that's an outdoor or running track. That is outdoor only. Can't place it in here. I could demolish the foundations, but I'm not going to. Dumbbell racks and bleachers. And a punch bag. And tire apparatus. But not the gym they've put in, the gym equipment, ironically. So dumbbell racks. Like that. And then punch bag. That'll upgrade that. And then plants. Believe it or not, because plants in here. And water cooler in here would increase the gradings of these. And I'm going to place them like that. Like that. Obviously, I'm going to have to then plumb them in. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Oh, do you need... Looks like you don't need to plumb the water coolers in. Oh, fountains you do, not water coolers. Oh, because they've got, obviously, of course, they've got the bottle at the top. It's a self-filling. Doesn't need to tap. So the room quality now is better. So that's fine. That's actually probably okay. And if we check now at the transfers, 5 prisoners, only 16% though, are motivated to qualify to move over here. But it's only just been placed. But that's fine. In here, dismantle. No, dismantle. I was going to say dismantle, but it's not dismantle utility. It's dismantle. Dismantle the chairs. Because this is going to have classroom, have a blackboard, and a bookshelf. And that should, once again, wrong tab, should give us... we need one more bookshelf. Sorry, one more bookshelf. Should give us the better grading. There it is. And we need to do the common room next. I'll leave that for next time. Okay. We can see from the grading that is working better now. Not as many people qualified. 4 prisoners waiting to transfer to minimum sec. Let's approve it. Let's get them going. Let's get them moved. Oh, the wanting, sorry. They're not right. The wanting. 22 cells available. Wow, really? 22? Yeah, it will be. Okay. That's good progress. I'm happy with that. We're going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of Prison Architect. Next episode, we have to do a couple of things. We have to make sure all the grading is correct for this cell block, which means obviously improving it. I need to double check jobs. Our programs, definitely programs, because we've probably only got it set once. We need to basically do it for every type of inmate that we have. We need to add in and again. Just go down and add it. Then reschedule it. And then naturally expansion and keep on going. Good. Okay, happy with that. I'm glad I spent a little bit of time extra here. I was going to leave it as they were waiting on the bus outside, but I'm glad we spent a bit of time doing this move over. Good. Next time, as I said, we'll go for expansion, look at programs, make sure all the grading's correct. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, we'll go from there. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.